Just FYI, I'm monitoring another program that's going on over here on the technology support, which is hilarious. So if you see me jump up and help something, that's because that's what my other job tonight. So sorry about that. No, it would be, yeah. This is the thing, is I know less about ball games than I do about technology, which is even funnier. But we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Everyone should have an agenda that they got from Emily, and we'll start with the pledge. Todd, you care to lead that, and Helen will lead our prayer.
Please face the flag. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Pray, please. Thank you, Heavenly Father, for this day. Another day that you've given us. Another day that we have the opportunity to praise you and worship you for all that you do. Lord, I thank you for the time that we can gather such as this, Lord, and to do business for the county and help to make it better. Lord, I thank you for your love, your mercy, and your grace. Bless this evening in Jesus' name.
So the next item of business is to review and approve the January minutes. I believe those were emailed out. I'm correct, Tom. And let's see if I can pull them up, but we did not have. Hold on. Sorry.
We did have one on January.
Yeah.
Bubba was here.
Okay,
Yeah,
Bubba was
I think we did.
So we received those.
Mm-hmm. Do you have copies, John?
Yep.
Awesome.
So were there any additions or corrections to the minutes from the January meeting? Seeing none, I'll accept a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Yeah. Thank you. It was moved by Todd, seconded by Mark, that we approve the January minutes. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you. Emily got them started passing around to make sure that they're signed and returned to Travis before the end of the meeting. Welcome our new board members. I obviously wasn't at the January meeting, so Todd, I'm going to let you welcome our new board members since I think you have more information about that.
One of them is sitting to my right here, Mr. Mark Abbott, sits on the county council. He is their appointee. We'll welcome him. As you well know, due to COVID, Urban Day, who sat on this board for many years, was not able to attend very much even last year due to health concerns. And I'd spoken to his son, Tom Day, about serving on the board, and he's accepted. He is on duty tonight at the firehouse and couldn't make it, but he is replacing Urban. I asked Tom because I think it's very beneficial for this board to have someone with a realtor's background. They kind of give a little bit different insight on things. So that was why the commissioners had approved him. And then a young man who works part-time for the Soil and Water, who is the Rule 5 coordinator, who's familiar with erosion and drainage, which would bring another bit of experience to the board. A young man by the name of Andrew Cott is accepted. He has major back problems and couldn't make it tonight, so maybe next month we'll have them all here.
Well, we appreciate the three of them accepting the position, and we hope that they enjoy it as much as the rest of us. So thank you very much. The next item is the election of new officers for 2022, and I'm going to turn it over to John Meade to run the elections.
I'll entertain a motion for chairman of the commission And however, whatever order you want to make it in, chairman, vice chairman, and secretary.
I nominate Emily Rodman
For
president, chairman.
is there a second?
Second.
Any other nominations? There being no other nominations, I would entertain a motion that Emily Rodman be selected as president of the commission.
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. I'll give it to you, Emily.
Okay. Thanks, guys. I guess now we'll move along to the vice chairman. John, will you still do that?
I passed it back to you since you've been
Oh,
selected.
I think she passed it back to you.
I'll do it. Do we have any nominations for the vice chairman?
Is that vice chairman and secretary? Or
I think they're two different ones.
are you the secretary?
No, I'm vice president currently.
Keely was our secretary.
Keely was our secretary.
Keely was secretary.
Oh.
Y'all make a motion to appoint John Mead as vice chairman.
I'm not a member of the commission.
She just,
I'm not a commission.
well, then, Dean, Daniel.
Second.
Do I have a second?
Who was nominated?
Danielle.
Danielle?
Are there any other nominations?
Who made the motion? Tom?
Yep.
One second, all in favor?
Aye.
Secretary of the commission?
I nominate Kevin Bell.
Neither.
Well, John, you serve as our secretary that takes care of our minutes, but the person on the board works with you.
If you're not here, right?
Is that correct?
Yes, as counsel for the commission, I have a task of preparing the minutes and distributing them on a monthly basis.
Yeah, I was reading through our county ordinance and it doesn't specify that you have to be a board member to be the secretary. The council can also serve as secretary.
I have read it.
Is everyone in agreement for John Mead to be our secretary?
Yes, I'll make that motion.
Do we have a second?
Second. Who did the second?
All in favor for the secretary? All opposed?
Cole will be in the side.
Alright, so those are our only offices, right? Now we're moving on to the list of dates. Usually we follow the council,
The council
any Monday mornings and Monday nights.
is meeting only every other,
Yeah, we changed our process, so every other
We like to
month,
meet.
although, yeah, sometimes special meetings, but yeah, it's every other month now.
you'll see how long that lasts.
Yeah, probably.
So we just want to still stick with the first Monday? Does that day work for everyone, or do we need to?
I'll make a motion that they remain the same the first Monday.
Second.
Everyone in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Monday's closed.
What about,
Does time still work?
what about July 4th, which is a Monday? You want to make that July meeting?
Oh, yeah, if it's a
July
holiday, are we
11th?
moving it to the next Monday?
I think that's what we normally do.
I have a list and I'll see.
Email that out to everyone. Thank you, John. Do we still want to stick with 7 p.m. or does the time work better for anybody else? Or do we have to change that?
That can certainly be discussed, what's the thoughts there? 6:30 works. I know someone in this room has mentioned to me a time or two that
I would like 7. That was me.
you probably make it earlier.
Not on Monday.
Not on Monday. How early can anyone go? Kevin said 6:30. Does that work?
Did you say 6:30? That'd be an improvement.
6.
It's not too bad now, but this summer would be.
Yeah.
So it's okay.
30 minutes is not make that much difference over the time.
9 p.m.?
No.
I'm out. I'm in bed at 9.
You're a night owl.
We can stick with 7 for everyone.
I can do midnight, 12:30.
I'll make a motion, we change it to 6:30.
I'll second
Everyone in agreement for 6:30
Who
for the
seconded that,
Monday
Kevin?
meetings?
Or both?
Is that okay with you, Travis?
Whatever you guys want to do. I'm easy.
Is everyone in agreement for the 6:30 time change instead of 7? Anyone opposed?
Now, what did you do?
Then change it to 6:30.
And then Emily said something about time change.
Yeah,
From 7.
from 7 p.m.
6:30 local time prevailing.
Yes, we go by local time.
Is that midnight for you, John?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all right, as long as you don't start calling these things at 8 o'clock in the morning or something stupid like 7:30.
Alright, so John said he'll get those emailed out with our minutes. When we get our new minutes, we'll get our new dates emailed out to us.
Pardon?
When you email us the minutes from this meeting, we'll get the new dates for this year's meetings at the same time.
Yeah.
You can email them too.
Okay. So then I guess we'll move over to Travis, who's the next on the agenda.
I guess we want to move, Emily, want to move ahead to the permit then? Confined feeding permit?
Yeah.
Part of that, I think, is just general information that Mark had down, so, I mean, it's up to you guys.
I'll pass this information along to Tom Day and Andrew, but these things he has listed here can be summed up in one email website, Washington County spelled out .in.gov, takes you to a link under Plan Commission, and it'll give you all that information. And I think most of us here know how to navigate the GIS if you want to look up something there. So.
Sir.
Yes.
As you can see at the top, it's general information for Israel Young. If you look at, is that screen working yet?
Not that one, but
Okay.
this one is.
That is the existing facility right there. You have the physical address there for the operation out on South Brown Lanes, just east of town here. Let's see here. Look over the permit. I went through it. There was a few corrections there that I had him do before. About halfway through the packet, you'll see there should be a diagram there that's drawn in. Let me see how that looks on your copy. Yeah. So that'll set in front. Looking at this picture here, it'll be setting to the front, kind of to the right on this with the facility there on the screen. But I went through everything there. I'll just draw your attention to a couple things on the letters. The second page, I do not have the third box checked. I talked to Israel about that. He said the post office provide that to him or fill in those certified mail receipts. There are 5 there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 there on the next page. There was 1 that was missing, and the letter should be there about probably 5 pages back to Urban Day. He did not send out a proof of mailing to Urban. Just sent a letter to him. I think he went to his house, and then Urban signed it. So, so there was 6 mailings for 6 adjoining property owners, and you know, like I said, you guys just look through it, put some eyes on it. If you see anything, let's talk about it or what have you. But I think it looks pretty good. But like I said, the only thing that was, I don't know if you want to say incomplete and I don't know the reasoning. He didn't really have a reason for it either. He just said the post office didn't provide that information for him on the certified mail receipts. But he said he did send it out to all the individuals. I think it's on page 5, I think.
I have a question.
Yes.
This clearly states U.S. Postal Service certified mail receipt.
Mm-hmm.
So isn't that good enough? That's what it is. That's a receipt. He sent the letters out.
Well, where did it go?
Huh?
Where did it go?
Where did what go?
Where did the letter go?
I assume that the address he's got on the receipt. Is there address on there?
No address is on the receipt.
No.
Not that.
Didn't say sent.
I mean, I'm not disputing that it didn't go, because somebody probably didn't do the job.
So why didn't somebody fill it
I'm
out?
gonna ask that question.
Well,
Get home tonight.
And I asked the same question, but he just said they didn't fill them out for him, but he did send them out to everyone there. The top 5. The bottom one was the letter. So, but
And why was it not sent the same as the other ones?
he just missed it.
Oh, he's, okay.
Yeah, I just told it was getting late in the week,
And he just went to Urban and.
and we've done that before. This is not a big application. If they get it turned in late, I try to push it through. they don't want to wait an extra month. So I just hand out some letters to them. I said, just go, take them a letter, have them sign it. And we'll use that as the mail-in receipt. But like I said, it's, I just told, I said, I'm going to have to leave it blank. I said, it's up to the board. I'll say, that's all I can do for you. Because he wanted to go ahead and send it in this way. So, I mean, that's all I can do.
Why would the U.S. Postal Service stamp it if it didn't have an address on
I don't know.
it? Were they in a hurry or something?
I don't know.
This makes no sense to me.
There's no telling how many of these I have over in the office, and they all have a stamp and they all have a name to them. Now, why they quit doing it or did not do it, that doesn't make any sense at all to me. Because I've taken them in before and, forgot to write the name on them, and they said, well, you've got to fill this out. And I don't know where it was, it's just common sense.
Did they tell him you need to fill them out and him not do it?
He said no. He said, we'll just, I don't know, take care of it, I guess.
Very thinking address.
Huh?
I'm gonna refer to Mr. Mead. Legally, should those not have the address on them before you receive?
Well, they should have the address. I think, Monday morning, Tuesday morning, depending on what work you do at the post office, whether you should have filled those in.
I would have thought that even if he saw they weren't filled in, he should have said something then or filled them in himself at that point. I do believe. And did they get away?
That's the problem.
That's the thing.
I put the tracking number of the first one into Track My USPS, and it says the item was picked up at the post office at 10:44 a.m. on January 28th in Salem. It doesn't say an address of the person that picked it up or a name or anything that I can see.
We've had this discussion before. I don't know if you guys are even on the board. I remember Mark Clark when this very first started, and the discussion was, well, do they need to sign for them? And then it got to the point of, Mark said that you don't have to sign for them, you just have to have proof of mailing. But they always had an address on it, and a name. You just have to show, that it's been delivered and it's been received at that location, or picked up, or.
So the second tracking number says it's still available for pickup. That I didn't know about. So, it hasn't been picked up from what I can tell. I can search the next one. If it says anything different.
Isn't there a grace period after they receive this letter before this could be okay in case, how do we know someone is in opposition to this or not in
Should
opposition?
say in the letter, doesn't it? That they provided.
It says if they have questions to call Israel, I think is what it says in this letter. It will not smell or anything like that. Thanks, Israel, and if you have any questions, please contact me. It gives his phone number.
I mean, what's the point of sending these certified letters out if you don't give the person the opportunity, if they're opposed to it, to respond? That's my point.
The letter is actually insufficient. Because it fails to tell the person that they have an opportunity to object.
Well, we have a sample letter, correct? That's
Oh,
available for them to review. So the third tracking number says, reminder to schedule redelivery of your item before February 10th.
I know in our office, whenever someone's doing a legal survey, you have to get these little things returned whenever you file your legal survey, and all that stuff has to be filled in whenever we keep that legal survey on file. That proves that it was sent to your house and it's kept in that folder for you to come in and question it. So, I feel that should be.
I don't know, y'all. I mean, these, we went over these permits a couple times and, revised them. And even, this used to be a combination with the actual CFO, CAFO, and AFO permit, and then we split them. I mean, this is the form we always went by, and neighbor notification letter.
But as Danielle mentioned, do we not have a notification letter, a generic one that, like for instance, I know he had to send something out much more elaborate than the version he had here when he built the building. So what was it? What was that for?
What, say it again, what was what?
I know he had to send out something much more elaborate than these four, like something similar to these 4 sentences he conjured up here that are just kind of informing his neighbors that he's going to build a dead pig building.
I'll look at it. I mean, we approved it. I don't know.
I mean, when somebody wants one of these permits, what kind of a letter do they send out? Is it like a form letter, or not everyone's is different, is it?
Yeah, they're all different. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Hold on. See if I can find a blank CAFO form.
That's what we're talking about. Yeah, that's why. Travis, what do they mean here when they say return receipt requested? Doesn't the landowner, the neighbor, have to send this back in?
No, return receipt requested means they got time for card check.
It was delivered. And you send the receipt back, it was delivered.
But she just said that some of them hadn't even been picked up, one of them hadn't.
They got, for 14 days to pick them up or something like that. And then it's not delivered.
Who's paying for,
I'll tell you, I think the letters, that we okay, they're pretty basic, cause
Here's the one that I have where CP stalled when we approved his egg thing. What was that? Egg cage-free. Cage-free approach. And it ended with included as a site map as well as a fact sheet about cage-free bullet points. If you have questions about the project, feel free to contact me, and it gives his phone number. And we approved that one. And that was to put in his facility.
On the application, where you check for neighbor notification letter, it says, submit proof that the approved form letter notifying the neighbor of the existing operation was mailed by certified mail. Return receipt requested for each contiguous property. So we must have an approved form letter somewhere. I'm looking.
well, on the certified mail receipt,
we have it sometime.
Here,
he's not,
this is on a previous one. Is that a form letter you have and they type in their name or, and then brief description? And then contact, was this like the,
return receipt.
something you give them or something they just provoked?
Was that off his permit?
Well, no, this is off of another one, a previous permit,
Apparently they're charging an
a
additional.
Quarry Beach permit from April '02.
And that's Corey Beach's.
Yeah,
Take a look
but
at-
I didn't know whether this was
take look
a
at
standard
the
form and he just typed in his name, filled in the lines
Mm-hmm.
that was already a standard form or not.
Return receipt, hard copy.
I don't think it is because a lot of times, I think it's something he put together that wasn't our standard.
Well, I wasn't sure because it come back to say if there's any questions, contact you instead of contacting him. If there's any argument, you would have heard about it.
I think he just did that.
I wasn't sure, but I didn't want to know whether it was
Yeah, I think he did, Max.
okay.
No, because I don't remember.
Some of these letters, they even come from Farbest or come from Tyson or just letting the property owner know, what's going on, and here's our form. It says, a letter from the animal processor, Tyson, Purdue, etc., stating whether the proposed operation is an AFO, CFO, CAFO, and stating that the proposed operation, water consumption, and needs. That's what we got.
That's what they send to us. The Farbest or Tyson or whatever, Purdue, whoever the company is that they're growing for, would send us a letter stating that the number of birds or the number of hogs or the number of whatever animal is considered an AFO, CFO, CAFO, and that there's plenty of water. They notify us of that. I thought the notification letter to the neighbors was from the actual producer stating that this is what we're doing and this is when you can come to come and talk to the Plan Commission if you have any concerns or whatever.
Yeah. But don't they have a form? Well, yeah, you're right. But isn't the form letter, sometimes they got, you know, standard letters that they're using for their producers? Have you seen that before?
Here we go. Found it. This is for Jacob Rowland. We approved back 8/3 of 20. It is due notice to contiguous property owners. The application has been submitted to the Washington County Area Plan Office for the confined animal feeding operation that is described below. This, you should have a copy of this somewhere, Travis.
I do.
This is what he needs to,
Let me see it, Paul.
this is what he needs to send to the basic property owners. That, right there.
I think.
Is that for a confined building, or is that for an animal mortality building?
Well, this says it's for a confined animal feed, a CAFO.
But that's not, that form there, I don't know, that looks similar to what Max had. We don't have that.
His will put up a hog barn already. So he should have went basically with the same steps there, bringing that before this board, as he did that.
Yeah.
I would think. Which I've said for many, many years, if you're gonna put up a confined feeding barn, animal mortality ought to be a part of that process to begin with. And not have
Yeah.
do a piece here and a piece there. If I was wanting money, I think I would request it, but I'm not, so I guess I can't. But,
Here's what, I was in the wrong section, Danny, I apologize about that. Here it is, it's neighbor notification letter. Then we've just got a checkbox for it. It says submit proof that the approved form letter notifying the neighbor or the proposed operation was mailed to each of the contiguous property owners.
So there has to be an approved letter, or we needed to have created an approved letter notifying the neighbor, and not just let them say, it's not gonna smell, thanks. And not know who to contact if there are questions about what he says. That would be like the Washington County Plan Director, Travis Elliott, the contact information.
Here's another one.
For Corey Beach.
Yeah. But he had it on another building, and his letter looks similar to Roland's letter. We approved CT Stahl's letter, and it was just calling if you have a question.
We don't have, I can guarantee, we don't have a form letter that we would send them out. I can tell you that right now.
What is this? Is this something that this Jacob Rowland did then?
Well, that's similar to what Max had. I see, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if the producer.
Max had one?
Yeah, he had one who is that, Max? Corey Beach.
This one.
that's probably the one that somebody's put together.
It's probably River.
Purdue or River.
Yeah, that's one, yes.
Right.
Right.
Together and shoot.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
exactly what you got?
Probably something either.
Okay, then this is.
Right. Probably Riverview has done this
That's
in
what I'm
other
saying.
counties. This is what's required.
Like Purdue or
we don't
somebody
have
else.
something
Or
that
this
is
put that
modified.
together.
Oh, okay, yeah, I think
Yeah,
that's,
yeah, it's not.
One, but they say this is something that's acceptable in other counties and whatnot, so maybe we ought to.
Well, can we not copy it?
Where does it say in our ordinance about form letter?
I've been looking. I can't concentrate on too many things.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Sorry, I get
What I just shared.
easily distracted.
I think
Let's have the minutes.
Nobody.
Awesome.
You signed it?
I think the list on the first one.
How far are you down, Danielle? Section what? In the 400 yet, or?
I had been all the way through, and I didn't see anything, but I went back up, I'm in 300 now, which is not related to that, but I was still gonna take a look.
There was, when that all began, there's something that came up where the producer was helping out the I forget how that went. One was helping out the other one on the letter, and I can't remember which way it went. But anyway, they were coming up with the letter. We weren't coming up with the letter of notification. Because it'd be here in the form, and I've never handed one out.
When I get back in like this, maybe we need to start. So here, this is what you do. Or do a better job of putting one together.
Well, and I think that's right. I mean, the point that you guys brought up, you hand these letters out, and then what does the neighbor know? Well, what am I supposed to do? What meeting do I go? Where do I go? When do I go? If I want to say something.
So you're assuming the only thing that was mailed out by Israel is this short 4-sentence thing that he wrote up? Is that what he sent them? Do you know? Did he say? Or?
Hold on. Are you talking about the letter?
Yeah, obviously that's what he sent, because every day signed it.
With the phone number at the bottom?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he said he sent out.
So that's not going to be good enough.
And I think you need the postal service addresses put in there.
Well, that's what I said, yeah.
He needs to fix it.
That's what I said, but, if you want to do,
That's all right.
He should have known from the
Eye candy,
first
buddy.
application
Eye candy.
that he should.
in the first application, it has everything on there.
He should have go back and look at that, in my opinion.
And I told him that.
I mean, I appreciate the fact that he's putting in the company.
Oh, sure.
Compost facility. I mean, hands down, I mean, that's the way to go. And there probably won't be much smell to it, except when they stir it, there'll be a little bit. So.
And I told him, I ran off some copies of what he first sent in with that application. I said, it needs to look like this. I'm not going to check the box till it does. And he said, well, I can't do anything about it. I said, okay, that's fine. I'm just going to take it to the board. And if they want to pass it, they're going to pass it. If they don't, they don't. So I just left it at that. But if you guys want to do a revision, I mean, that's up to you all.
Do we vote on these, Travis? Do we vote on these?
On the application? Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So would we like to take a vote that this needs to be sent back with a new letter and have his receipts filled out the way they're supposed to be?
Do you want to do anything on a revision of some type of letter that you guys want with some specifics on it?
We have two letters that are identical. Jacob Boland's letter matches Corey Beach's letter, which I assume come from whoever he's doing
And
it.
CT Golf. So
Whoever's doing it.
I don't know where this came from, but why don't you take one of these?
Yeah.
Have Courtney type it up just like this, and keep 30 or 40 of them on hand. Make copies. Well, not that many, a dozen or so, or save it.
Does it say on there where the adjoining property owner needs to come to the meeting if they object?
No, but it says if they have any questions or concerns to contact the applicant or you. Okay.
I'm going to make you a copy of this, Travis.
I've got copies of it.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what I think we need.
I think it's a neat, I'm sorry,
I
Dan.
don't know.
I think it's a far best for Tyson form, I think.
And just make sure you tell Israel that, he needs to put the darn addresses.
And use that letter there?
That's right.
Okay.
Right, because the whole point is for them,
Oh, yeah.
for the property owners to know what's happening and then to have an opportunity to share with us
That's right.
if they
Oh, yeah.
think
Well,
that he's or
there's
she's
nothing
not
in
doing it.
that form that says there'll be any kind of hearing or,
There doesn't have to be a hearing. It just says questions regarding the notice can be directed to Mr. Elliott. And then he will notify us that Joe Neighbor wants to come to a plan commission meeting.
Well, I'll also tell Joe Neighbor when the next meeting will be there, because they need to be here at the time of reviewing of the permit, correct?
That's right.
That's what I'm, yeah, I mean, that's the way we've always handled it. I wish I'd have known all this was coming up. We've approved, a lot of applications with this type of letter, basic, just 4 lines typed out. I don't know if we even have half of the applications, manure and confined feeding, that have that type of letter that Todd's got in his hand. I'd be willing to say it's less than half. They're just a basic typed out letter. Hey neighbor, this is what's going on.
I would agree with that, and I think, that, when those boxes are checked and it's presented, unless you bring it to my attention that that letter doesn't meet the need, or the certified stickers, receipts don't meet the need. Sometimes that doesn't get my attention. So.
But you said you were showing on the USPS and one's not even been picked up?
Right, I can.
Dude, wow.
Let's see if I can get back to it. One of them was delivered and left with the individual, so that was good, I guess. And let's see. Sorry, these are easy numbers. Another one that needs to be rescheduled for delivery.
It was probably through the weather.
Yeah, maybe
Maybe it was because of the weather last week.
Yeah.
But, so
Right, so.
Here's something else on these letters. If you're sending these letters out, okay, let's say to get all the address and everything right, but what if, didn't we have at one time those letters have to go out and give, the adjoining property owners time to, be able to come to a meeting? What if the letter just popped up a day before the meeting?
So, I'm pretty sure that was in there.
It's 14 days, I think, for the application.
I think you're right.
So I don't know about the specific of the mail. It has to be in my office, Now, if it's not too complicated, I try to get to it for them, but that's another thought. If the mail didn't reach until the day before the meeting and they're, got other things scheduled, or.
like these, we're having our meeting right now and they're not even at their houses. If the tracking number in that is true, they're still in the post office. If we approve it.
I don't think, is there even any need to vote on this? We know what Travis needs to do, so.
no.
You want the form letter? Want me to retrieve one of them form letters?
Yep.
Out of somebody's file.
Because you know he's not gonna have one in his pocket, so,
No.
and he'll probably know. Well,
Probably check on how many days after a neighbor gets the letter. We need to see if they get the letter when the next meeting is.
Well,
That's
shouldn't that be in our, I mean, one of our rules is what I was saying. What is it? I mean, is it 10 days? Is it 14 days? Is it?
So this says that, basically it says that once you have all of the required information, the plan commission has 30 days to make a decision. So I would say that 30 days is after he turns this in saying that all of his certified letters have been received, or we've received notification that those letters have been received. So then they could say, if the letter could say the next meeting or will be on the first Monday of whatever month is coming up, within 30 days of when that should happen.
So when they bring in, so you guys are wanting to do, and I might have to write this down, those receipts that come in, when they come in with the proposed permit, that, you know, I got 30 days before it hits this meeting, correct?
I'm trying to find it right now.
30 days for us to approve it at this meeting.
Wow.
Is that not what wows?
Well, I think it's
The
good.
wow is you're into a 90-day decision process.
When you got farmers wanting to break ground in 10 days.
But the adjoining property owners have rights. They have the right to dispute this, and if you don't give them the opportunity, and by making the window of days so small, you're not giving them an opportunity.
Oh, I agree with you. I just know how much griping's over, you know. They turn these applications in too late and they don't, you know, understand.
I think it would be reasonable to say, and I don't know, I'm not looking at our procedures, but it would be reasonable, I think, for him to have a complete application, have all of the notices mailed out. Okay? Not necessarily accepted and received, but all of them mailed out with the addresses filled out. 30 days before the meeting. That would allow 30 days for somebody to pick up the notice and call.
Okay, in this case, if you call him tomorrow, tell him that he needs to send that form letter that everybody else is using, and he has to have the addresses on the receipts for the certified letters.
Mm-hmm.
He gets those sent out before the weekend, before this weekend, the next couple days.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow's Wednesday. That gives him till Friday or Saturday. They'll run on Saturday too. Then at the next meeting, he ought to be good. We can approve it. That will give those people almost, yeah.
I want to also say in this, and we've talked about this a lot of times, but this says that not that the plan commission will determine if the person, I'm sorry, I get lost so quickly. Upon receipt of all required information, documentation, and fees, the plan director shall render a decision within 30 business days of submission. If the application is not approved, the plan director shall state in writing the reasons therefor. If the application is approved, the plan director shall provide the application with all appropriate permits. So it doesn't say that the plan commission is going to look at it in 30 days. It says the plan director will look at it.
Well, that makes it much more simple then.
But we've talked about this before. We said that if all, that was one of the questions that I had. Why are we looking at these at every meeting if every single box is checked as correct? I don't know that's why I've asked that, is because if all the boxes are checked, do we approve it or does the plan director approve it? Now, if the boxes aren't checked, which the neighbor notification letter is not checked, then maybe we need to have a conversation about that. But, and it even says in here that if Travis or the plan director is unable to review the application in a timely manner for 30 days, the president of the plan commission shall act as the director and will review the application and provide any appropriate permits or denials in order to meet the 30-day decision timeline. They have 15 months to get things together until their application is void. You can increase extensions in increments of 30 days. In case there's something like weather or equipment delays or something like that. And so then if they don't meet the standard, they don't get the check boxes or they don't do whatever, then that's when the variance is needed. Right? Mm-hmm. And that would be the Board of Zoning Appeals.
Yeah.
Would accept whatever or deny whatever variance that they might be requesting, whether it's a setback or.
Yeah, if they can't meet the standards straight up, they got to come to the BZA to get the variance.
Well, we've always done it, where, I run through these applications, there was, make sure everything's good, and, if there was a problem or question, I went to Mark or John, and then after that, if everything's good to go, I just bring and present to the board for approval. Now, however long you guys want to spend on it's up to you guys, but.
Do we even need to actually, if all, let's say this wasn't the case, if all the boxes are checked and everything's done properly, why do we even need to look at it? We don't.
And you made that decision a year and a half ago.
Mm-hmm.
That if all the boxes are checked,
I thought we did.
based upon Travis's review, he could issue the permit and go on. But if all the boxes were checked and then in that 30-day period, Travis learns of something or some neighbor objects, or then he can bring it to the commission.
Yeah.
And I think that decision was made a year and a half ago.
So what we're saying is if Israel fixes these for this application, that check mark, that gets checked, it doesn't have to come back. He does it correctly.
In other words, he wouldn't have, but you gotta give those people time to respond, so. Sure.
What he's gonna have to do is fill in the address where these are mailed, and he's going to have to request a return receipt.
Mm-hmm.
He did not do that. He did not pay the fee for a hard return receipt.
I send all mine out, fill it out, they stamp it with the address that's on there. That's my receipt. I stick it with, I put it in the file.
this item, when we get through discussing procedure, I've got a question about the
Do what?
I got a question about the bill, the animal compost
Yeah,
bill.
let's talk about the
Do
building.
you have a set of plans to how that building is to be built?
No.
Do you require a set of plans?
No.
So you go out and set 4 4x4s in the ground and nail some boards to it, put it on gravel?
We have to have the map with the drawing. That's what the board wants.
So he's probably building that to a standard that either IBM has or.
Probably what the bank probably has a requirement.
Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna build it to this standard of ID.
Okay, that's what
Yeah. I would hope.
I would hope so too.
So Travis,
But,
Yeah.
you know, you look at some of the incompletion stuff in here, and makes me wonder about the rest of it. I'm sorry, that's just the way.
so attached to this application is I guess the ordinances, right? It talks about the definitions, and it has the 600s, the 700s, and things like that. Do you know, is this updated differently than what is on the website? Because that's what I've been looking at, and there's not anything about a neighbor notification letter being like a form letter, but then on this that you gave us a copy of, on I already lost it. Page 11, 701.2.3.2.
Hold on.
Yep.
Okay, 7 what?
701.232.
Okay.
The second little paragraph in the parentheses, the form letter is available at the office of the plan director. So this doesn't match what's on the website for 701.232. So,
I look at that, see what you're looking at.
yeah,
The mysterious formula.
yeah, I know.
What are you saying here?
Just look at it.
Yeah, it was on it.
Okay.
701.2.
32. Those are not even the same.
Water supply.
Uh-huh.
Yes. You know.
Yeah, I don't know how to
Yeah,
get
we don't know if
this.
that one's updated or if that one's updated. Don't know what one's updated.
So I don't know. That's what I have. I can't keep track of paper.
Wonder where it is.
And so everything that I look at is just always going to be on this website because I can't keep track of it all. So if that doesn't match, I don't. It's disheartening, I guess, because you don't know. How can anybody else know? So, yeah. Oh, I know, and I know websites are super hard to keep updated. We have one for extension, and
On county office.
it's different than the county.
I will with him, I will update the website for one time, and he said,
So I don't know.
That's very frustrating.
It's very frustrating, but I still don't think that Israel's letter meets the criteria and definitely the certified.
Oh, no, I don't
Right.
either.
So.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, this form letter then, do you want me to start adding it to these applications then?
Yes. I would think so. Even if just an example one that they have to type out on their own. You put like, dear property owner, and then you address. My name is Israel Young, or whatever, blank. My name is blank. My property is at blank address, and they have to type it out. They should be able to do that. And then
It's just frustrating. I mean, and this don't sound right. I just can't believe how many times we've been over this and then we're still finding things. It's just,
It's not the finding them, it's refinding them.
we just don't do enough. If we did them every single day, we would get really good at it. But when you only do something every so often, it's hard to remember.
because I was just looking through the minutes, reading the other day, and how many times we've taken this back for revisions, redone it, brought them in, the board read it, yeah, hey, it looks fantastic, and then I'll be darned if we don't find something else.
Maybe this is the last time.
Oh,
Yes,
gosh.
it is.
I can't believe it. Okay.
What do you think we should do?
No, I think that's fine. I just can't believe it. I think this is happening again, but that's okay. That's okay. There was something about this form letter, the reason we didn't do it. I have no idea why. It's just sticking in my mind, but we left it up to the Farbest or Tyson and the producer. I don't know why. It doesn't make any sense because to me, it's like what you guys are saying. Why are we not sending out a form letter in our packets? Simple, and
But you don't remember why.
we quit doing it, and I don't know why. I may be able to find it in the minutes why, but and then like what I was going to say just a second ago, what John was saying about reviewing these permits, because we were spending, at one time the board wanted me to bring in the permits, and I said in here, we'd read through it and present it, go line by line by line by line, and then it got to the point, like John was saying, get everything done, and we went to the check boxes, get everything done, but we still bring it in, and we will approve it. We want to look at it just for maybe a minute or two, 5 minutes, and then make a motion and be done with it.
That's right.
And don't waste much time on
That's right.
If this would have been done in 2 minutes, we would have been done. If this would have been done
it.
right.
Oh, complete. Oh, I know.
Yeah. Although this is something, it's a different thing, but I know when I filled out my last permits to get creek level out, and I had to submit a plan to NR, IDM, and Corps of Engineers to get their blessing. Okay? Whenever I had to let the landowners, notify the landowners within a half a mile of the work area, upstream, downstream, I could go in, I could do certified letter like this, I could send them all certified letter with return receipt, or I could do face-to-face contact, or verbal contact. But I signed it up at the bottom saying that I had did that.
Did you do that?
If somebody checked, if they called and they said, no, he didn't, then I falsified the records, is what it amounts to. And I probably wouldn't have gotten my permit. If I'd done something like that. But I mean, that's how that works. You had 2 different ways of doing it. But either way you go, you're saying that I did do that by certified mail or by verbal contact to those people. So that's the way that worked. That part of it worked.
And I don't want to complicate anything. I hope it's not complicating anything, but you're talking about the 30 days, and then I've got the 14 to get it reviewed, I believe, before the meeting. I think that says that in somewhere in the section of our rules of procedure, but you're talking about the 30 days. To help move things along, what would be wrong with bringing in the permit? I've reviewed it in 14 days. It's to the next meeting. We've approved it. But you've got still, the adjoining property owner still has the option to call the office in 30 days of the mailing.
So it's
we
like
don't hear
contingent-
anything, it's good to go.
It's like a contingent approval.
Huh?
I approved it, but your neighbors still have like 22 days.
22
on
days,
it.
very good, yep. So we can keep pushing it through, so we don't have to wait to get into this 60, 90-day business.
That's, whatever works easiest there, I think would be what we want to do.
I just know in the past the producer gets upset because they don't know exactly the dates, and they think we meet a lot more than we do, like maybe every other week. And then even if they find out, well, oh my God, they'll show up like they'll show up Thursday this week, ready to go for next month. And I was like, we're only doing it once a month. You got to wait till next month till it gets approved. I mean, and that's, even a little rough on the feathers there. So, but yeah, if you start kicking on more than 30 days, I think there'll be some upset people.
If the neighbors didn't approve, did not approve of the original building, I would say there'll be no people upset about the compost building on this particular one, but still.
And it should be a good thing
It is.
for the neighbors.
It will.
It's better,
And I'm building
yeah.
lots of them.
Yeah, the more, on these specific, that was the opinion of the board, the more we can get built beside these facilities, the better off it's gonna be, smell, and whole 9 yards.
Well, see that little patch of woods there, that would be better than him dragging them off in the woods, letting the coyotes, buzzards eat them.
Oh, sure.
Right.
Be good for his papers.
That doesn't happen, does it?
Never.
It's probably used to.
All right, we got 15 minutes. We got some other stuff to get to. So, John said mark him off the agenda, right? Mark your name off of here.
Oh, yeah.
I'm marking John needs stuff off. And Brenda marks me off. So that's all right. I'm gonna flip over to the back page. And that's chapter 5. And I'd like to adjourn at 8:30. So, anybody want to start section 513?
That's the Google Doc, right?
Yes.
So one of the questions that Mark asked me was, Mark Hartman, sorry, I'm so sorry. Mark Hartman asked me when he stopped by earlier, I was here doing stuff on the computer, and he asked about the new members getting access to the chapter 5 and all of the things on there. Is that something we can add then to the Google Doc and take off the retired people, or how does that work?
He started the Google Doc. So we'll have to,
I'll make a note, talk to her about that. Because I think that our new members need to have an opportunity to review that before we start.
let me talk to Keely, because then I just have to like copy and paste into a whole new one.
Yeah, or she might be able to give you
Yeah.
permission to,
Do that.
I don't know the right words, but to edit it in some way to add more or delete people. I don't know the words.
We got that under control. I will check into that tomorrow.
And I'm sorry.
Mark and Todd and Emily and Danielle all have county computers.
I know.
You don't? But you've got a Purdue
And then a Purdue computer, yes. Yeah.
that can pull all that stuff up. Google Future, wherever it is.
I wonder if we're going to start on those. You act like that savings. Getting caught by a bill if I had to do something.
about sharing on the screens?
Yeah. Okay. It's so difficult to ask them to do that.
Really need to be able to, I've got a tablet that I don't drag around, but Bill Bradford set it up so I could actually go to Google World, but it comes up as Washington 469-12-1487 or something.
We never use it, that's really specific.
As the user, and it throws in a password, I have no clue what it is.
So you don't use it, is that what you're saying?
So you don't see me with it. But we need a way so that Kevin and Andrew and Tom Day.
We need to put it on the county website and have a portal that can access that. Because that way anybody can, if they want to, they can bring their laptop and
Rhonda can access it if she chooses.
that's right.
What you would do would be to put it up on the website as a PDF. And then that way, just like any of the other regulations, anyone that goes onto the website can go ahead and click on it and look it over.
That's right.
That's what you're trying to do?
Right.
And that's easy to do.
Right, but it's not approved. We're still working on it. That's the thing.
It's a draft.
Well, I mean, you maybe really want to do that because there's not a lot of input from the public right now. And, okay.
Right. Well, and that's the thing is that this was something that KK provided us, right? That has like every option possible that we could do for anything. And we're going through and we're like highlighting and saying, nope, that doesn't work for Washington County, delete that. Or we're making a comment to decide, Emily Rodman. What is the footage from exterior property lines for parking? She's making comments as we're talking about it in here. So I don't want anybody to think that this is actually what we're going to adopt, because I would not, knowing what I know here, there was no way I would vote to adopt this anytime soon. So, there's that level of
it's got to have to say drafted and rough draft and not accepted and
work in progress.
Work in progress.
Put that on the heading in red letters.
Yeah, exactly. And then you can let it be messy.
The web page needs to have that as a footnote on every page that says work in progress, draft only or something.
Right, because I just don't want somebody to see what's on there and get all worked up thinking that that's what we're actually going to do when we just haven't got that far yet.
Right.
To make those edits.
What I would suggest, okay, when people try to use technology that they're not comfortable with, a lot of work doesn't get done. Does that make sense? Why don't you just go ahead and do the paper and ink thing? And I'll be recording, if my equipment works out the way I think it should, I'll be recording the meetings, and then you can go ahead and discuss it in front of that. And if anyone wants a copy, if there is a concern, they can either turn up at the meeting or actually communicate with Travis. Courtney can go ahead and maybe take a message or two. Does that make sense? Because I've seen the document and it's not that great. And you paid way too much for it, and it's never going to pass.
Oh, no.
Just my opinion. Yeah, never
I
going
wouldn't
to
vote
pass.
for it anyway.
Do you see
Right.
KK here?
Hey, I shouldn't have said anything, but,
That's okay. Well, they're working on it.
they're working on it, but it's...
Direction.
Right. So is this posted somewhere, or you just have it in case somebody wants it? The video.
Oh, I'm bringing up Indiana Proud again.
Oh.
And Indiana Proud's going to have this on, if it works. I mean, because usually I bring in this huge system, and it takes me half an hour to set up and all of that kind of stuff. And a meeting, somebody gets a little bit bitey or hitty or something like that, it's hard to take the expensive camera into safety, right? So I got a really good case on my phone, and I can take it if there's problems, which there have been before in the past. But yeah, no, Indiana Proud, we're going to go, I am going to go to these meetings and go ahead and record them like I did before. And you maybe, I think there really is a pretty desperate need for it right now. Okay? So, yeah, all good. But, you know, do whatever you want to do. But just some insight, having worked with technology and familiar with technology, and people that aren't, you're best to just go with paper. You know, you know, for taxes, I'm a big fan of shoe boxes. Just put it all in the shoebox. You know, I can write a program to go ahead and do that, but if you're not familiar with that program or comfortable with it, it's not going to work. And the same thing with these.
Well, you got a couple of new members that need to get up to speed, so I understand the need to do a
Print it up.
PDF or something.
Right.
And I think we can just reach out to the new members, see what they feel they're comfortable with, and make a plan from there. So
I just finished having a new copy today, and he has to print it out.
So, can I move to adjourn?
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
He didn't get to get over there right away.
Meeting's adjourned. Have a great night. What?
We were together, right?